briefly introduce our chair, Shinji Oyama. So Dr. Oyama may be known to some of you. He's head of Japanese Studies, Department of Media and Cultural Studies at Birkbeck at the University of London. He's a Sasakawa Research and Teaching Associate in Japanese Creative Industries, and he's also the director of the Birkbeck Center for Media, Culture and Creative Practices. So I'll leave it to you to introduce the other speakers. Okay, I'll give that up.
Thank you very much, Jason. My name is Shinji Oyama. As Jason has very kindly introduced, I am the head of the Japanese Studies at Birkbeck College, University of London. We actually have a BA, MA, PhD in Japanese Studies at Birkbeck, so if you are interested in or your son or daughter is interested in, please let me know. Thank you very much to Daiwa Anglo-Japanese Foundations to organize this with us. Thank you to Jason, thank you to Ogawa-san, and thank you also to Susan. I am very, I feel really privileged and honored to have two of the most distinguished media scholar from Japan, in Professor Mizukoshi and Dr. Toriumi. They are part of this. They are part of this team who has been developing a quite distinct type of media studies in Japan. They are critical media studies scholar, but they are not only interested in representations of something on Japanese media. They are interested in that, and they have expertise in that, but they have also been very active in making connections with practitioners, NPOs, and various industry and non-academic people. And perhaps, unlike sometimes overly pessimistic and critical media studies scholar, I admire their sort of optimism in the way they analyze media and engage with the practitioners. So I'm really pleased to have both of them here to talk about their project, which very much represent their both theoretically informed and very sort of grounded and engaged type of media studies. So without further ado, I think I'm going to give the floor to Professor Mizukoshi.
Thank you very much, Shinji Oyama-san. And this is my great honor to be here with Kyoko. And thank you very much for Daiwa Anglo-Japanese Foundation and all the people who are, supporting me. Today, we are going to discuss about our very practical and also critical media studies, which are focusing on the after the March 11th Japan society. Shinji described our media studies as a kindly intentionally optimistic one, but every time I am very pessimistic. So I remember the word of the Antonio Gramsci that he told every time that pessimism in their conscience, but optimism in their behavior or soul. And that is a kind of the motto of me or our teams. And today our title is Long-Term Redesign. This is try to imitate a long evolution or something like that, but put the term inside that. But the design something is very, very need a big effort, but sometimes small fruits. And so it's related to pessimism and optimism matter. And at the very first stage, I would like to confess to you that we are not so much active in the kind of the refugee area activities in this stage. But we are now planning to do those kind of things. So what we are today discussing is what we are now doing and how we can convey those kind of things to the refugee area or the after the March 11th society in Japan. So some of our story is future planning, and some are kind of the things we have been doing. I heard from Ogawa-san that there are many, this kind of the lecture about the March 11 or tsunami or Fukushima. So I think this kind of basic information may not need for you, but as for the information, I picked up something that this is some part of the Japan, and color of the area. The longness is about 500 kilometers, and this was quoted from the site online from German, and that is a German land. And the color of the area is if copy that to that same shape, and that occupy the land largeness of the German. So that means that it's very quite long, like the Norwegian countries, like very fjord-like places. And here is not a good designed website by the Ministry of Education, and they asked me every time about the agree or disagree about the opening the data like the pornographic contents or something like that. But this is things about the contamination of the air by the nuke, and it's March 11 of 2013, so just 2 years after. But when going back to that, for example, well, as you know, it's okay to. This is Fukushima, and the northern, the southern, and here is Tokyo. And oh, I'm sorry, I don't need it. I want to use my physical finger or something. I'm a media studies researcher, but I believe my body and not so much digitalities. Thank you very much. And when looking this, well, this is a metropolitan Tokyo area. And one day, suddenly, my neighborhood found we are contaminated very much. My hometown is here. My home is here. And I don't know why, but our place is highly a kind of hot spots. And it's more than the Sendai or Iwaki in Fukushima. Because of the natural geography or wind stream or something like that, we are very much suffered. And those kind of thing is a very personal matter of mine, but it's a very big situation. And well, taken by my wife in June 2011. This is a playground. The reason why they put the plastic cover is the sand is contaminated. And so, well, our apartment was shaking, but not so terribly. But I cannot feel the radiation. But we are told by scientists or mass media that your place is seems dangerous or almost the upper side of the surviving or something like that. And that kind of thing is a very shocked one. My town is a very greeny, very boring, beautifully designed place, a new town, near to Narita International Airport, and beautiful, clean and greeny, but contaminated. That's very Kafka-like situation. And after 2 years, there are many discussions, but I will skip many things. But as you know, the most important point of the March 11 is this is a combination between the earthquake and the Fukushima. If the things are only the earthquake and the tsunami, oh, that's very terrible matters, but still we can collaborate each other and to reconstruct many things. But Fukushima is not such kind of matters. So these two very basic things, but these two combination is the most important and fundamental problematic situation about the March 11. But anyhow, after 2 years, strictly speaking, 2 years and 3 months or so, when I went to the refugee area, I found that almost all debris, but there's many discussion, debris is a not good word for, describing things, because that was house or furniture or door or something like that. So, but anyhow, there is a discussion, but all debris are almost cleaning up. And there are no need for the so-called hard volunteers, but they need a soft volunteer for mental care or something like that. And very calm harbor city, all are cleaned up, very beautiful land. So let's start to reconstruct building, town, IT infrastructure or something like that, but never happened because it's very complex things. There are, regulation of the nation or the city, prefecture, or there are many sectors, so they are still stuck in front of the beautiful, land, and it's a very big matter. So there are many things they have to do, but because of the complex bureaucracy, it's stuck. And Fukushima, it's struggling, and no clear and plan to recovery, ongoing, because they don't understand why the water are going out from the closed plant, or as you know well that there are some mighty mouse did a kind of the electronic incident or something like that, and so Fukushima is still struggling. But at the same time, the Abe cabinet tried to export the nuke plant to Turkey, Finland, many other places, and that's very strange for even for my mother or my father, more than 80 years old, why he is doing these kind of things, and that kind of things is a big discussion. And again, this is the nearest playground of my apartment. It's not in 2011. This is March of 2013. 2013, this year. So for 2 years, they put the blue, plastic and do nothing. And at last, they try to, how shall I say? Spray burden. Yeah, that's a soil of that. And here is also the sun playground. And after a couple of days, there are many children here. But and it's very beautiful and boring, beautifully. But that's the reality of this situation. And here are some, some wrapping up things that there are many things that communication and discommunication between the scientist and the laypersons, mass media and the audience, and university people and local citizens. And also, there are big generation of the unconcerned, so don't care about the Fukushima, or we forgot about the March 11 or something like that. But at the same time, there is a kind of the remote sympathy, especially between Okinawa and Fukushima, or Ainu people and Fukushima, or those kind of things are also happening. And also housewives, circle or something like that, are very caring about this kind of thing. So they are very concerned about that. And of course, against nuke and pro-nuke people, there is a profound gap between that. And government and citizens also. And mass media and social media, many people are aware that the things are very complex. At the very first day, they said including me, the mass media is almost nothing, and social media is a kind of our media to convey or transmit the information. But the things are very complex. That the topics in the social media, most of them are from the mass media, so things are very saturated each other. But anyhow, people are now aware. Many Japanese serious calm people are aware there are kind of the media literacy or awareness of the critical matter of the media, and also social media. And forgotten, this kind of thing is very serious. And this is a picture of our university's bookstore. And this red square place are occupied by March 11 related books. And I counted, and about 300 or 400 so-called academic volumes are already published in these 2 years. So productive, isn't it? So productive. Anthropology of the refugee area, or social networking in the March 11. Many things, and some of my colleagues have already published, and they are seriously examining those kind of things. But what happened? By this kind of academic efforts, what happened to the society in these 2 years? I am very pessimistic or critical about the things. Of course, there are tons of variety of areas which are doing some studies of the March 11 or Fukushima. But what I am concerned or engaging in is the media studies. And for preparing today's presentation, I've examined almost all the volumes of books related to media studies on March 11, and I can find there are, roughly speaking, 3 categories. One is kind of the investigation or inspection what mass media have done under the March 11, or how the Twitter or the Facebooks are working, or those kind of things. And this kind of examination are very important because that is a kind of the basic data for our developed researches, and also we are lazy and forget many things. So this kind of the record is also very important for the critical studies of the media. And the second point is archiving. It's a bit different from the investigation. Many are media researchers who are usually doing very social scientific researches try to connect with the engineers or web designers or something like that, and try to gather all the TV programs from March 11 to 1 year or something like that, and make digital archives. And also there are some groups who are doing more grassroots media activisms or archives. I will just show one thing. This was called the memory salvage. In Miyagi Prefecture, there is a very plain seashore, and all are gone without some pictures. And there are about 750,000 pictures. They pick up from the soil and clean up and digitize and put that on the website, and also print out again and put that on the public center. And the villages, people are coming to that place or check the website and get their, personal memory and to go back. This was done mainly by the graduate school students, and they are very hardly working. This is a kind of, this is very different from the recording the mass media's, reports on the, or something like that. But how shall we do when we finish checking our memory and we can get some pictures of one's family, and then how about the 750,000 digitalized pictures? It's family or people who picked up their own one and go back, and then how about this digital archive? That's very important challenge for their future activity. But anyhow, investigation of the media's activity and try to record or archiving those kind of things from the mass media side, from the grassroots side, the major categories of the media studies on March 11th. But things are very complex that when investigate the mass media reports or social media reports, again, things are not so simply classified as mass media or local media or social media. Because in Japan, there are 5 leading nationwide newspapers, but each prefecture have their leading newspaper. And also some villages, seashore villages, have their own local papers. And so even the local paper is a mass media. It's not the Yomiuri or Asahi, like the 10 million, only 2,000 or something like that. But so there are very classified mass media, and also like this is a leading prefectural newspaper company's website of the Miyagi, the Kahoku Shinpo. This is very connected to the social media, and each small seashore town, they put some people, sometimes citizens, to do the report by social media and make this kind of website, and it's very active. So the concept between the mass media and small media or grassroots media, all are connected each other, is a kind of the finding of the investigation. And the last point is design. What's the meaning of designing? It's a matter of we are very much concerned about this kind of things. And from my understanding, almost all media studies are classified in the one purpose investigation or archiving, and there are few activities on the design. And what we are very much concerned is that after March 11, how to design new media activism in a very regimented Japan society. Japan society is very regimented. Using the mobile phone in the public space is regimented and restricted, and people are moving in this way, and that's very hard for developing the media activism. So what we have been doing is not doing a very keen demonstration for anti-something or something like that, but try to cultivate or make the massage for the general regimented people to understand how important the media expression is, or what the meaning of the rights of communication, something like that. So designing is a kind of the means a kind of the action research, and it's beyond the ethnography, and we are very much entangled in the society to develop the media communities with the general citizens or industry or something like that. And Media Exprimo is a name we have been engaging in this about 5 years or so. And this is not for the March 11th matter, because it's before the March 11th started. But what we have done, some product, for the tsunami refugee area or something like that. And still other parts are not so much engaged in those kind of things. But I believe that we believe that this is we can develop something with the fruits of the media exprimo and do more collaborative researches. So from now on, my research colleague, Kyoko Toriumi, is going to show you some concrete example of what we have been doing as a digital storytelling among generalists.